Another dire warning on the state of the MTA's finances. Welcome back. I'm Christine Johnson.
I'm Maurice Dubois. This time the red flags being raised by the New York State Comptroller. He
says that drastic cuts could be coming if the agency doesn't get a federal bailout. CBS 2's Andrea Grymes reports.
Barreling down the tracks, not only trains, but the worst financial crisis in the history of the MTA, according to New York State Comptroller Thomas DiNapoli.
Not good.
You worry about the future. Are we just going to have a lack of service that we're not accustomed to? How's that going to disrupt our commutes?
DiNapoli says riders have a right to be worried. His new report paints a bleak picture. He says the MTA will be $12 billion in the red over the next 4 years, plus more than $50 billion in debt by 2024.
If the federal government fails to provide additional assistance, the devastation to public transit in New York would be enormous. It would mark the end of regional public transit as we have known it.
MTA Chairman Pat Foye says the report confirms the agency may be forced to implement drastic service cuts and layoffs, which will only slow the region and the nation's economic recovery.
This is the greatest financial crisis the MTA has ever faced. We need substantial federal aid, and we need it now.
DiNapoli says the MTA did get $4 billion in federal funds from the CARES Act in March, but needs $12 billion more to balance the budget through 2021. Political wrangling over another stimulus bill continues in Washington, with no guarantees of when or how much. If no federal funding comes, DiNapoli notes the state did authorize the MTA to borrow up to $10 billion for operations. DiNapoli says that should be an absolute last resort. It'll only make a bad situation worse. On the Upper East Side, Andrea Grymes, CBS 2 News.